Hello, everyone. This is Meshell Baker, Women of Sales and Influence, and happy Monday. We are here with another fabulous Woman of Sales and Influence. Today is Monday, October 24th, or 14th. Oh, God, how did I get to 24th? Slow down. Take a deep breath.
Right.
And as we do every Monday, I present to you an amazing woman who is in that space of belief. She is sharing what she does exceptionally well in an incredible manner to her audience, to her clients, to those around her. And today's guest is Traci D. Canterbury. I am Meshell Baker. I am the founder and the host of the Women of Sales and Influence that is sponsored by the National Association of Sales Professionals. I am also an expert confidence coach, a keynote speaker, and a sales strategist. And this is my belief is that we get to, we're two or more gathered, we do something exceptionally well. So today I am gathered with Traci D. Canterbury, and she knows the rules that a woman who is of influence, who is fabulous, is incredible at presenting who she is. So Traci, I will give you the mic or floor, so to speak, and tell everyone what makes you incredible. And welcome to the Women of Sales and Influence.
Thank you so much, Meshell. You're always so sweet with your introductions. I'm Tracy Canterbury. I am a life coach and a health coach. I work with domestic violence, human trafficking, and sexual assault survivors. It took me a long time to come to the place that I am and decide on the career or the path that, or actually the one that was actually picked for me. I struggled with that for a long time. And even as a health coach, when I first got my coaching certificate, I would have to walk around practicing saying, I'm a professional health coach. I'm a professional health coach. And it just never fit. So yeah, I kept praying about it, and just, the Lord spoke to me. And yeah, I'm a domestic violence survivor myself. So who better to work with other survivors?
Yeah. So Traci, I love your vulnerability. I love that you're sharing this. Your topic today is live each day free to choose your way. And some people might wonder, what does this have to do with business? What does this have to do with sales? So I would love for you to talk about, like, when we initially met, that inner voice conversation that you had to sell yourself on, because when we met, you were a health coach. That was your thing. And I won't say the we won't name names of the multi-level marketing company. Wow, say that 10 times fast.
I know, right?
That you work with. And as we came, you allowed your inner champion came out, and now you are doing amazing work championing people. So we're going to back up and just talk about that inner sale, how you first had to sell yourself, right? Let's talk about that journey.
So I'm a hotel manager as well who hated their job. I dreaded every day getting out of the bed. Plus, on top of that, I was attempting to be a health coach. And it just led me into a downward spiral. I had no clients at all. I was spending a ton of money on promotion and marketing. And, when you just see money flying out the window and you have nothing to show for it, it's the most grueling feeling ever. It just gets you at your core. So a friend of mine had actually told me about you, Meshell, and she was like, she's doing this course called Journey to Joy. You need to do it with me. And I'm like, no. I said, I've taken enough. I've spent hundreds of thousands of dollars on education and courses, and you tell me to do this or that, and then nothing ever worked. And I can't even tell you how many books I read, probably 300 plus. So yeah, it's crazy, right? So finally she just kept at me, and because she's that type of person. And I was like, okay, fine, I will do it. I'm like, how much is it? So she told me, and I'm like, all right, when do I have to have my money in? She told me. So I started looking at some of your videos. She was like, well, you got to follow this lady. She's so amazing. I'm like, okay, whatever, So I finally did. And I was just mesmerized by you, Meshell. I was like, oh my heavens, So we started the Journey to Joy. And I know me then compared to me now is like a complete 180. I would stay in my pajamas. I would eat Ben and Jerry's for a week or two straight. It was a mess, but still, I kept up with the program. And then I went from there to Vision Mastery, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, I did some of the programs through Growth U, like Transform You, and I think I did Money Mindset maybe right after that. A few of the other ones, but I started with Vision Mastery, and a few of the times some of the ladies didn't show up. So I had some one-on-one time with Meshell. And the more I talked to her, the more mesmerized I was. I was like, I want what she has, because right now I'm at the bottom of the pits and I have nothing. And it was just the glow and the vulnerability and the way that you pulled things out of us, as opposed to going, here's 10 steps and you need to do this and you need to do that and you will be a millionaire in no time. Even when I started network marketing, that was the first thing I was told. 1 hour a day, maybe 30 minutes a day, do it in your spare time and you'll be a millionaire, just like these people. No, it's a lot of work.
Yes.
Yes. And when you're feeling overwhelmed, plus adding a workload on top of that, and my hotel job was stressful at the time, I was just going nowhere. So, we started working together. We've been working one-on-one almost a year now, I think. Yeah. After a bit and working with you, it was just like, because I didn't feel comfortable with who I was. So that's where the, live free to choose your way every day. I didn't feel like I was doing what I was meant to be doing. I wasn't living the life that I was meant to live. I wasn't using the gifts and the talents that I have. I was trying to be somebody that I wasn't, because I'd heard so many times, do this, do that, be a successful internet marketer, be a successful this or that. And at the time I was really trying to find something to get me out of my job. I hated my job. So after working with Meshell, she just kept saying, follow the promptings, and I would go home and I would pray and I'm like, what is she talking about? And one day I was just putting makeup on I was getting ready for work and I'm like, domestic violence. That I have a lot of experience with that. I was in a domestic violence relationship for 9 years. It took a lot for me to leave my ex-husband. So I converted from a health coach to a life coach. And from there, just because I'm walking in the path that I'm meant to walk in, my business has transformed to something I would have never dreamed about. It's incredible. And if you would have told me then a year ago, I'd have been like, yeah, you're crazy. But now, I have so many opportunities coming my way that I literally have to say no or try to do referrals and refer them to somebody else.
Yes. Yeah. And I love that you have experience going from scarcity to abundance. And that's like the definition of choose to live each day your way, right? Without the abundance, you don't have choices. Right. And choices was the internal conversation that I hear you saying that you decided to invest in, to learn that you had choices that were always there. Right. So I know that you transitioned into, domestic violence, which is actually interesting for anyone listening, has turned into a thriving business of being able to help people, being able to help other women to choose as well. Right? Because there's this choice and there's no demographic. This touches every aspect, every walk of life, every level of income. This is occurring as we speak. And statistics, I follow you on social media. Some of the statistics you post are heart-wrenching to know that this still happens. So I'd love for you to share about when you first had the prompting to step into something that is so different, so out there, right? Because I can't even imagine, right? The second guessing or questioning the prompting, like starting to have a conversation, like, did I just hear you correctly? Am I hearing myself correct? I'd love for you to talk about hearing and then moving.
Actually, that part, when I got the prompting, and it was like, it just, like I said, it came to me to become a domestic violence, to work with domestic violence survivors, human trafficking. I already work with, a few people in human trafficking. And that actually, it felt like coming home. It was like I heard angels singing at that point. The hard part was doing the things that didn't fit with me. So Yeah. So like being a health coach, I've studied health and wellness for years, but to actually coach someone on it, it's really not my niche. Um, I can tell you to drink water. I can, and that's where it comes. See, like when I'm working with a survivor or a victim at the moment, I don't have to tell them to do this or do that. As a health coach, I felt like I had to tell somebody, you have to do this, you have to do that. So the word, even the verbiage was completely different with that. Um, Being a hotel manager, I've always been in business of some sort, and I've always been a manager. Even when I wasn't appointed a manager, with my first job at Taco Bell when I was 15, I was a manager. I was a boss. You couldn't tell me otherwise. So I've always had that take charge type attitude. The problem that I'd found was, one, I was following the wrong path. I was following what people told me I should do.
Mm-hmm.
You've studied health and wellness all this time. You should become a health coach. You've always been in business. You should be a hotel manager. You should, and it was the coulda, shoulda, woulda, have to that actually got me. Once I followed the promptings to work with domestic violence victims, from that point, it really did. It felt like I came home and I was comfortable with that. So there was no questioning with that.
Yeah, and
Mhm.
and I can hear you saying, it's the woulda, shoulda, couldas that get
Mhm.
us. So, how did you get to that? So that's not an easy journey to go
No.
from making all this investment, because what happens for many people is it feels like I've been doing this and I have to get a return on what I've invested, and that thing that is feel because we're all in feelings right now, right? And
Right.
those initial choices are feelings, right? So
Right.
the feeling of bliss of something that makes your soul sing is actually going to feel weird to that thing that you've been doing
Right.
consistently over time. So how if someone was having a prompting to do something that is just a complete left turn to the direction they're currently heading, right? Almost sometimes feels like a
Right.
U-turn. What would you tell them
Right.
to how to go about, what you're hearing, what you're doing, or what would you share with them would help them to even start moving in the direction of that prompting as described it?
First of all, listen to your inner voice. The inner voices and the voices of other people. I started looking at it this way. At the end of the day, it was me that had to live in my skin. I
Mm,
had to go home to myself. I had to look at myself in the mirror. So it didn't matter what Meshell was doing or what the lady next door was doing. That's their life. And for the longest time, that's what I was stuck in, trying to replicate what somebody else was doing. So through the work with you and bringing out who I was or who I am compared to who I was, plus, like the programs, transform you, eliminating the self-talk. That was another thing. Positive terms, affirmations every day. So it was actually the work that led up to the prompting that
mm,
made it so easy to transition into that. If I was still in the position of I'm not good enough, I'm not strong enough, I'm too fat, I'm too ugly, I don't know enough, then it probably would have been a lot harder with the transition. But doing the work with you with Journey to Joy, and then the one-on-one coaching, and the ladies in Vision Mastery, that's really what brought a lot of it out of me. Because in the mornings now, even though I'm still a hotel manager, I've converted that into something that I love. I do more community outreaches, and we do a lot of projects with the kids, and that's giving back has always been the forefront
mhm,
for me. So
mhm,
it's, even like when Rod Harrison said, value leads, money follows.
mhm.
That's been my motto forever, because I've always wanted to give as much as I could. And since my business has transformed, I've been able to give so much more that way too. So yeah, a lot of it's programs, Growth U, NASP.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So and I hearing you correctly, because I know you did. Growth U and NA is the sister company of NASP,
Hmm.
and we follow similar principles of the six steps to lasting change, which are about you creating an internal conversation, as you hear Tracy has said she did initially, investing in your mind, And one of the things that we remind people is that you have 100 billion brain cells in your mind, and you have the limited access to 24 hours of time. So everything that this is about belief, because when you're in belief, your mind expands, you get more solutions oriented, you become more creative and innovative. And so your time actually becomes optimized. As Tracy said, you know, she's now having fun at the job that was a burden, because now she gets to be creative because her mind is working on her behalf. And that's where the choice is coming from. So you know, and I'd love for you to talk about, like, as you have been choosing and you're in that choice, and like some of the things that you've been able to do with the choices that you're now making. How have you been able to make a difference on a large scale for the people that you serve?
Oh, well, so like I said, you know, even with my hotel job, and a lot of times I've found this talking to clients, this happens at a lot of jobs. We get in our head and we think that somebody won't allow us to do certain things, or we put up limits on what we can do. With my hotel job, my boss has never ever said, no, you can't do this. You know, no, you can't have an event. No, you know, but it was my limited beliefs that actually prevented me from doing that. So between my coaching practice and being a hotel GM, we've had, so like last month I had Samaritan's Feet out here. We gave out 250 pairs of new shoes and socks to the youth in the area. I have a clothing drive for the guests, because I work in a low income facility. So I rent to people that are on low and fixed incomes. So we do projects for the kids. We have Bible study once a week. We do movie, like tonight's going to be movie night. So because I do have the extra money that I didn't have before, I'm able to buy food for the kids. So like tonight we're having chicken nuggets and macaroni and cheese and green beans and watching Monster Inc. Yeah, it's amazing. Every month we do an event. This month we're doing trunk or treat and a haunted house for the community. So, and that was something else. Before I had to keep it restricted to the hotel guests, and now it's community wide. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I'm joining the Freedom Division Advisory Council. It's opened doors in so many different areas of my life that it's every week something new is coming in. And it's actually pushed me beyond, you know, my fears too. Like, you know me, I couldn't stand doing interviews. Woo, and Facebook Live scared the bejesus out of me. But like when Samaritan's Feet was out here, I bet I was on camera 10 times, and I'm like, okay, Lord, I needed the practice. Thank you. Yes. Yeah, but I've learned to say thank you instead of why is this happening, or what could have been different. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, I'm able to do 1,000 times more than what I could have ever imagined. It's only going to get bigger. Yeah, it's only going to get bigger. I love that you said that. And you know, the what I hear clearly is that by investing in the most important person in your world, which is you, you're now able to give abundantly. Until you can give abundantly to yourself, you can give abundantly to no one else. So I mean, I applaud that, because it's not an easy thing to do. It's a counter to what we're told to do, right? And again, you hear the term do. We are taught to do instead of be. We're human beings, not human doings. And I love that you've become a human being, and now your doings are manifesting so much for so many. Yes. Yeah. So we're around that time. So I wanted to, you know, tell people what it is you do and how you'd like them to follow up with you. So if a woman was listening, what would you like her to know about what you do and how you can be of value to her? Okay. Like I said, my name's Tracy D. Canterbury. I am a certified life coach and I health coach. I work with domestic violence, human trafficking, and sexual assault survivors. You can find me on Facebook under Tracy D. Canterbury. That's my personal page. Domestic violence advocate and life coach Tracy D. Canterbury is my business page. Everything else is at Tracy D. Canterbury. So Instagram, Twitter, yeah. LinkedIn, Tracy D. Canterbury. Also, my website is www.tracydcanterbury.com. And you can go to the Contact Us tab and schedule a free 30-minute consultation.
Yeah. And what would I be feeling or experiencing and to want to contact you? So what am I currently going through that I'm like, oh my God, I got to call Tracy, or I got to reach out to Tracy?
Especially, well, if you're a domestic violence survivor, or if you're in that situation, that's another thing. I have a chat feature on my website, so it's not traceable if a person is in that situation, so you don't have to worry about the other person picking up your phone going, who are you talking to? It took me a long time to leave the relationship I was in, and it took a lot of strength. It took me a lot of years of counseling and working on myself. I spent 4 years where I would just go to the grocery store once a week and to work, and I did nothing else, zero, because I was scared. I didn't want to go out in public. I didn't know if I moved from West Virginia to Charlotte, North Carolina. I didn't know if he was going to follow me here. Plus the depression, anxiety, fear, isolation. There's so many feelings that a woman can feel, and you feel trapped. So, if you feel trapped, or even if you've left the situation and you still don't know how to find the balance in your life and bring things together, reach out to me.
That's absolutely beautiful. So, if you are experiencing any of that, and this is a subject that why I'm bringing it, it's because it's something that we don't talk about. And I like and love to talk about the things that we don't talk about, because that's what helps people to have the freedom to choose when we actually shed light on it and stop, pushing it in the closet. So I thank you so much for being willing to get on live and to interview and talk about the subject, right? This is something that is going to touch many who are able to view it. So for anyone who is looking at connecting with Tracy, you can find her on www.tracydcanterbury.com, and she'll have the feature of contact or the live chat. This has been, and you guys have to excuse me, I've had a problem with my eye all morning, and it's starting to act up as we wrap up. So it's starting, oh my goodness, it is really starting to water. So give me a second, let me just roll it around. Okay. So this has been the Women of Sales and Influence. I am Meshell Baker. I am your founder and host. The National Association of Sales Professionals is our sponsor. So this is about the business of belief. Whatever it is that you are promoting, you are looking to get enrollment, you are selling, you are actually transferring your belief, the confidence of what you're doing, into that prospective enrollee, buyer, or advocate. And the National Association of Sales Professionals is masterful helping you to be able to have those conversations confidently. We have a seller style assessment that allows you to see where you are as a seller. What am I currently doing? And what is that ideal selling style that'll help me increase those advocates, buyers, and enrollees? So go over to www.nasp.com/join. Take your complimentary seller style assessment. And currently, for a limited time, and I do mean very limited, we're offering a complimentary free feedback call about how you go from your current selling style to your ideal selling style. So this has been Meshell Baker, Women of Sales and Influence, sponsored by the National Association of Sales Professionals, with our fabulous and wonderful guest, Tracy D. Canterbury. And I look forward to seeing everybody next Monday. Tracy, stay where you are. Everyone, I'm logging off. See you all next Monday.